Hello, I am Zachary White, your host of Hour of Babel.
And I'm your co-host, Jacob Lampman, here with our friendly, unpaid, underappreciated, but ever hardworking computer man with a plan, Riley Jensen.
Hello.
And yeah, there he is. Can we give Riley Jensen a round of applause for his great music choices and keeping the podcast mechanics and under the hood stuff running smoothly.
Barely running, but it's running.
Yeah, and that's what matters and counts. All right, today's episode's gonna be a little bit like here and there. We're gonna have a little bit of news, but I think we're also just gonna be doing some just off the cuff stuff. It's gonna be a fun time. Mm-hmm. Zach, you're starting us off. What do we got with the polling?
Well, Bernie for quite a while was actually down quite a bit in all the early states polling. He was fading down to like 13%, but now it seems like there's a three-way tie in Nevada, Iowa. Warren has an 8-point lead in New Hampshire, and Biden has a 25-point lead in South Carolina.
I don't know how long Biden's going to have that 25-point lead.
In South Carolina, it's going to last at least until the Iowa caucus.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Once he loses the Iowa caucus, I expect that to go down.
Yeah, like other more centrist... other better, more centrist candidates are going to fill in his place.
I doubt it. I think it's Warren. I think Warren and Bernie are going to take. Actually, I think most of Biden's support is going to go to Bernie. I don't think it'll go to Warren. No, I don't think it'll go to Warren.
Well, I mean, when we break down the demographics of who's voting for who, Warren's really getting in the college-educated
white liberals. Yeah, and Biden has a lot of black people, a lot of people of color. And
why though? It's because he's VP for Obama?
Yeah, and
because like he hasn't done shit for any African. Well, no, I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure he's done something as VP or something. I mean, the crime bill obviously hasn't done much. Yeah. At least it's not a good knock on his record.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's just people who don't pay very much attention to they're not paying much attention to the primary.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not super policy oriented.
That's perfectly fair.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't give two shits about politics. I mean, as long as you give like enough of a minute shit to not vote in a guy like Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that ship's already sailed, hasn't it?
So he's just getting like default support of people who aren't really paying attention, basically.
Yeah, we'll see. It's just so early, which is
then Warren's getting like all the technocrats.
Yeah, just the kind of Democrat I don't like.
Yeah, and people who are like fancy themselves progressives, but they care more about identity politics. Like, yeah, they're like, that. I'm a progressive. That's why I'm supporting a woman. Type of deal.
Yeah, that's like the whole "I'm with her" thing with Hillary in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Court and demographics.
Yeah, and Biden's leading nationally like 17 points, but that doesn't really matter because wherever they're campaigning, he's not doing that well.
If he wins the primaries, just like, I don't know how long his support's gonna last, but let's just say that he wins the primary. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be so fucked.
Yeah, I think he'd lose to Trump.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, he already buckles to moderate Trump attacks. So I mean, and that's just some light stuff, some under the hand softballs.
I will not talk about my son. I'm like, well, You kind of need to.
I know,
They're
right?
kind of corruption allegations. You kind of need to talk about them. My family's off limits. Well,
Yeah.
if Trump was
Okay.
funneling money to his kids through the presidency, you would not say, "Oh, his kids are off limits."
Yeah. It seems like
But
the White House nowadays is just means of income extraction.
yeah, well, I mean, Trump's not funneling money to his kids; he's funneling money to himself.
Yeah, inherently greedy. They can have what's left after he's dead. Until that time, though, it's all his.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Trump Jr. can go start some shitty half-failed tech firm like his dad. You know, carry on the new family tradition of being a failed businessman.
Dude, it's so
But
sad.
I know, right?
Don's dad was actually a
I
pretty good
know.
businessman.
He was.
That's because he was a man that built his empire. He didn't inherit it.
Yeah.
He actually truly started from nothing.
I know. Well, I mean, when you truly start from nothing, there's shit you learn.
Yeah.
And you never forget about where you come from. Problem is, your kids come from wealth, and so
Mhm.
they don't really, they don't learn the same values that you learn. You know, fair enough. It's a different environment entirely.
I didn't even
Breeds
check
different
where
people.
Kamala and Buttigieg are at.
Really? Well, I mean, it probably doesn't matter. At least with Kamala, I doubt
Buttigieg
she's
is 7. I'm looking at New Hampshire. Buttigieg is 7. Harris at 4. Gabbard at 2. Dude, Tulsi polls super well in New Hampshire.
she polling in New Hampshire.
Between like 3 and 6%.
That's pretty good
Mm-hmm.
for Tulsi.
Yeah. Even
Too
though
bad
she
she's not gonna be
waffled
that
on
good. Yeah, Medicare
Medicare
for all.
for all, which is super disappointing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm telling you, she's trying to attract a centrist base because she couldn't attract any support with a
Mm-hmm. It's not because of money though, because she doesn't take any corporate money. So
No, it's more, I think, down due to
strategy.
she's not pulling any. I mean, all the supporters either going to Bernie or Warren.
She's trying to pull her libertarian and conservatives now.
Yeah, I mean, it could. I don't know. At this point, we'll see. I feel like a lot of the
As long
low
as
pollers are going to be
as
dropping
long as
out after the
yeah,
next debate
as
or
long as
two.
when she drops out, she endorses Bernie, I'm fine.
Yeah, maybe.
Who else would
I
she
don't know.
endorse?
Warren.
Doubtful.
I mean, there's two endorsement options. Either you're on the way out, if you're going to endorse anybody, it's either going to be Bernie or Warren.
Dude, Castro's been breathing fire recently. Do you think he's gonna endorse Bernie on the way out? That'd be interesting.
I hope so. I feel like a lot of the establishment guys are going to go for Warren, though.
Castro seems like he's made the strategic decision that he didn't want to go center. He's
Makes
moving left.
a lot
At
of
least
them tried
pretending
that
to.
tactic this go around, though. Remember Kamala at the beginning?
Well, I mean, Klobuchar decided to run as a Republican in the Democratic primary, so.
I know. She's like, please vote for me. It's like, no. Doesn't matter how fucking much you plead. You're way not. I don't even know why you're on the stage.
People care about realistic solutions,
Man,
not impossible promises.
I wonder what
Yeah, damn. That was our attitude during the Great Depression. Oh man, people want workable solutions, so we can't have Social Security or.
No, the solution back then was just wait it out, boys. Wait it out. It'll pass over.
The socialists and communists pushed FDR, and they're like, give us social programs, or we're taking over. He's like, Well, can't argue with that. And then he went over to the rich people. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna need to take your money to pay for these things." They're like, "Well, can't argue with that. That's better than the communists."
Well, I mean, to be fair, they did try and business plot him.
Yeah.
Too bad for them. I can't remember that general's name, but he fucking immediately just went to the president. He's like, yeah, so a bunch of fucking rich oligarchs just came to me with a proposal to march on the Capitol and oppose you.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Good luck
Isn't that
deposing
nice?
a popular president like FDR.
I mean, even then, maybe if they allied with a
Dude,
different kind of
that is the
nation.
recipe for a communist takeover. That really is.
I don't know. I could easily see an anti. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be a communist takeover. I could also see an anti-authoritarian like counter coup,
Mm-hmm.
just to restore the republic.
Yeah.
I mean, if FDR especially isn't in custody, or maybe Huey. No, Huey Long would already be dead at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would still have democratic elements. It would still be a toss-up, man. That would be civil war at that point.
Yes,
that would just kick off a civil war. Because everybody just be trying to get power.
It would be some Kaiserreich stuff.
A little bit, except for I don't know. It would be way more bloody than that.
People wouldn't even have territory. I'm pretty sure it would just be...
it would just be pockets all over the place, and then some pockets would consolidate and join up with other pockets. And eventually there might be some semblance of like territory in a front line, but that'd be like, in the beginning it would just be fucking chaos. Absolute chaos.
Mhm.
So, good thing that never happened.
Yeah.
God bless America. Instead the businessmen were just like, it's fine. The short-term solution didn't work, so we'll just try for the long-term one.
And boy, did it work.
Yeah, now they're already in the government, So, I guess, that's the life lesson. When hard tact doesn't work, go for soft tact. And that typically works.
Mm-hmm.
Ask businessmen.
Ask Germany.
Ask the Germans. We need to be doing that with Canada a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it means, well, I wouldn't say force, because that kind of defeats the whole purpose of a soft tact. But even if it means concessions in the form of a trade union.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, they're only... Canadian identity is based off of not being American, that's it. We can just get them in the fold, man, that's all it would take.
That would be quick assimilation.
Well, it wouldn't be assimilation. It's not like we're there to just be like, you're American. That's exactly the Canadian fear. It's like, that's exactly why we don't want to be with you guys. We don't want to just become American.
I mean, eventually that would happen.
I know, but you gotta, it's like a carrot in the stick. You don't use the stick at first. You lure them in with the carrot. So, I mean, healthy amount of autonomy and making sure that they have their own regionalized identity for a time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. NAFTA's fucking... Even still, I don't like NAFTA.
Yeah, neither do I.
It's like, I don't like these shitty trade deals. They hurt our domestic industry. They could lead to something greater in the future, but still. Maybe that's what fucking people in the 50s were like. The European Coal and Steel Commission. They're just like, we don't want this because it's hurting our German industry.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? So, what do we got for the next story here? We got all the way up at the top here. So we got China's military domination over Asia, more foreign policy. I love talking about China.
Mm-hmm.
I think the main reason why I like talking about China because they're like our parallel
Yeah.
term,
Yeah.
on the other
I
side of
mean,
the sea.
and
They're
and you
dominating their.
and you've
Oh,
been
go ahead.
listening to the History of China podcast recently.
Yeah. Shout out to History of China podcast. They're really good, and it's well, it's cool. I was like, well, even if you're a person that doesn't like China, but you should still learn about Chinese history.
It's neat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of it too.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
fuck, know thy enemy. Gotta get in the mind of the other, side.
It's also
The
cool.
problem is most of Chinese history was written by a class of scholar bureaucrat from the perspective of the scholar bureaucrat, and now this modern Chinese state is nothing like that. Because, well, the people took over and then created their own class of people within the government or within society. But even so, it's like remarkably similar in many ways, but also markedly different. It's kind of weird.
It's also really cool to see like the smaller dynasties that like start up and then just plummet because of just some fucking mistake.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, incompetence. What it turns out to be is like their kids always fuck it up. Which is funny because we just got done talking about rich people's kids being fucking. They just, like I said, they don't know the struggle.
Yeah.
What makes hard men? It's like, it's funny. There's this story in the history of China. We're going a little bit off tangent because it's funny. The Tang Dynasty, they just defeated the northern nomads, and then is a way of like, what is it? Compliance and subservience. They take all the nomads' chiefs' sons and raise them in China like proper Chinese citizens. But when they go back to the steppe later in their life, take over in their own right, they just get kicked out because it's like you're not even a nomad anymore, dude. You're like dress like a Chinese person. You talk like a Chinese person.
Hello, fellow nomads.
I know. Dressed in fine silks and shit. It's like, what do you mean we gotta go hunting? Fuck that shit. Don't you have just people bring stuff to you? Yeah, it's like that. But yeah, on the modern China, they're trying to get back their foreign power projection. Because every Chinese political entity, after it takes over all of China, has always got to power project on its barbarian neighbors.
Get some tributary states going.
So here's the article. China's military domination over Asia isn't guaranteed. A study published several years ago by Michael Beckley, an assistant professor of political science at Tufts University, published in an academic journal, International Security. In the article, Beckley argues that China's neighbors could thwart military aggression through anti-access area denial strategies with only minimal U.S. assistance. And so it goes on to say that after Xi Jinping consolidated his power in the 19th Party Congress, China stands at they're ready to. It seems like they're ready to reestablish their dominance over their region of Asia. But this article doubts this, and then it goes on to be like, well, they can't even conquer Taiwan, which is fair because
that's true.
it goes on to say that China's military doesn't really have that kind of force projection and magnitude. So it says that my main finding is that there is a budding balance of military power in East Asia, which the United States can reinforce at moderate risk to U.S. forces. This balance of power will remain stable for years to come because China cannot afford power projection capabilities, and it would need to overcome its neighbors. So, and the amount of money they would need to spend on the military would be like magnitudes more than what they're spending now. So I mean, like, we don't really need to worry that much right
militarily
now. Yeah, that's the economic side of things. But we'll see how long China's big building boom will last. See, building booms always happen right before busts. I mean, the Burj Khalifa was built right before the what is it? UAE's had their own economic downturn. I'm pretty sure that building isn't fully used. Like, there's still parts of the building that are just completely empty.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
it's
yeah,
a big building. It's hard to fill it.
I know. It's like, yeah, we just thought.
Why would you want to be at the top? It's like, isn't it like an 8-minute elevator ride to the top or something?
Fuck, I'd like to live at the top.
I wouldn't. You want to spend 16 minutes. If you only leave and come back once, 16 minutes of the day in an elevator?
Jesus, dude.
Now, what if you work downstairs?
I still don't want to
Is
spend
it
that
really
much time in an elevator.
minute elevator ride?
I don't know the exact number. Well, we can look
that
it up.
doesn't feel right, but I don't know, maybe.
Fuck that, man. You know what? I'll get a fire pole and just go it all the way down the bottom. And then you would have to get some gloves because your hands would probably get burned after a while sliding down the fire pole. But if you got those gloves on, man, that would be the funnest ride.
You're just falling really fast. You're like, no.
I was very wrong. It's 1 minute.
Oh.
You dumb. See,
it's like the fastest elevator in the world. Apparently, it has to be a quick elevator.
Yeah.
The elevators go 10 meters per second and are among the fastest in the world.
10 meters per second?
It's 140 floors.
Jesus. It's the biggest standing or the biggest freestanding structure in the world, not sitting on bedrock. Yeah, isn't that nice? You're building on sand.
That's not very nice.
That will totally not come to bite them in the ass later. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Like, I don't think the Burj Khalifa will come down in pieces, being brought down, disassembled. Like, I feel like that building's just gonna topple over.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if the UAE, I don't know if that region sits on a fault line, so
yeah,
they might be good from earthquake.
I think the real threat from China is that they're building the global economy around them.
Well, yeah, that's the Chinese mindset. All under heaven.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Belt and
kind of
Road
like
Initiative.
I mean, it's just gonna get even more and more. It's always what am I trying to say here? It's always been China's geopolitical goal. I mean, just because they settled the frontiers in the north, in the steppe, doesn't stop there. I mean, they still have Russia to contend with, and while they're buddies now, they've always had a contentious relationship. China is eventually going to seek to dominate Russia in their relationship. We might actually see them coming to us for help. After all, they're fucking neighbors.
Yeah.
Like,
which one do you think's coming to us? Which one do you think will come to us?
Maybe
Probably
Russia after
Russia.
Putin's gone.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know. I'm sick of being eternal enemies with Russia. It's just not good being enemies with Russia. History shows that being enemies with Russia just sucks. It's a waste of energy and time. That's what the Russians do. They just sap your will right out of your body. Albeit winters or constantly thwarting you geopolitically or cyber attacks, they're just fuck. Like, take a break, Kremlin. Yeah, it's a joke, obviously, but man, yeah, they're gonna eventually they're gonna realize that China's not here to be equal friends. But that's if China can overcome its demographics crisis and its economic bubble bursting, which could happen in the next couple years, or at least signs of decline would start to become more apparent.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I mean, China's comeback king. They're the untold, underappreciated comeback king in history. We talk
Yeah.
about Germany and Japan, but I mean, China's been coming back since they've had written language.
I mean, Korea's kind of a comeback king too.
I know, but it's hard being a comeback king underneath a comeback king the size of like 10 of you.
Yeah.
Or more than that.
Now, granted, they've
More than
tried.
10.
Yeah, way more than 10.
They've tried throughout history. Korea's really tried. They're like, no, China, no. And then China just throws hundreds of thousands of men at them until they eventually submit. But you know, what can you do? It's like you either roll over or you stand to die.
Mm-hmm.
The Vietnamese took the other option. They're like, nah, fam, I'm not about to be China.
Dude, the Vietnamese are the legends.
I know. Well, you can also thank their climate too.
Yeah.
Like,
It's hard to
thank
invade
God for
thick
jungle. Yeah. And malaria. It's a Vietnamese's best friend. Them Norsemen can't handle that. Can't handle the tropical climate. Which is good, you know, because it keeps China boxed in. Which is why I'm saying we need to be friends with Vietnamese, not their enemies.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. Saigon is now no longer Saigon. I'll get
Ho
over
Chi
it.
Minh City, baby.
We need to be friends with them now. Now, I know that scar of that war is still healing. Our veterans may not like it. But I mean, like, we did quite a harsh number on them as well.
A harsher number on them.
Yeah, like 3 million casualties altogether. And then civilian deaths too.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if that can be overcome, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
We'll see though. Ugh. Let's move on.
Alright.
Let's move on to some other the other part of the world, the other cradle of civilization.
Donnie has single-handedly brought ISIS back from the dead.
Oh boy. It was like this in Afghanistan too. You get the ISIS and the Taliban, Al Qaeda, you lock them up in prisons, man. But if they break out, it's like you thought Daesh is what is it? Yeah, isn't that what Israelis call Israelis and Kurds and all them call ISIS people? They call them Daesh or Daesh.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, get back on Daesh's wild ride.
Yeah, so basically, Trump sentenced tons of Kurds in northern Syria to death by pulling out U.S. troops, which was stopping Turkey from, invading.
You betrayed me.
Yep. Our most reliable ally in the Middle East, the Kurds.
I know.
Just put the knife in the back. It's very, very unfortunate. Jacob and I are very big fans of the Kurds.
They're literally one of the only peoples of the Middle East that liked us. And guess what? One of the only peoples in the Middle East we fucked over the least. Can't say that anymore.
No.
Making more enemies. You know what? If Russia wants to intervene in the Middle East and get more involved, honestly, I say go ahead. It's like, go ahead. Take over the quagmire. that is the infinite war that happens in that region. It's just like
Still,
when we took over for them in Afghanistan.
uninhabitable.
Yeah. Well, that's why we need to give it over to Russia, because hopefully they're still involved when that climactic crisis happens, so those Middle Easterners who are most accustomed with seeing Russian troops and influence in the region would flee to that part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because there's a lot more land in Russia, especially when the climate opens. It's going to be more variable than there will be in Europe. Because, God, I mean, Europe really didn't handle that. That Syrian refugee crisis thing
No, they
well at
did
all.
not
Did
handle
not.
it
They're
well.
like,
That was bad.
"Ugh, Muslims," and then
Yeah.
they like hiked up their skirts and got on top of the stool and screamed. And they're like, immigrants.
Yeah, basically.
It's
Yeah.
like,
It was pretty
And
bad.
then all of the border countries of the EU are screwing over Germany, being like, just ship them all off to Germany. They said they'll take them. It's like, ah.
and Germany's like, hold on a minute. I said, we'll take them. We as in all of us. Not we as in we Germans, god damn it. Well, yeah. I don't know if they'd be able to handle something like a climactic refugee migrating crisis.
The entire population of the Middle East coming into Europe, I don't think they could handle that, no.
It wouldn't be entirety. They would flee in every direction.
Yeah. But how many do you think are going into Africa?
Probably ones with close proximity and means of getting across the Sahara. I guess it depends on how well off the sub-Saharan African countries are by the time that happens. Because Nigeria is already on the up and ups. They might flee to Nigeria because they're like, ooh, that might be a land of opportunity.
And I don't think India is just going to welcome everyone in.
No, definitely not.
So they're all going to be funneled through Europe.
Yeah, or up into Russia, or over into America. And South America. There's a huge Arab diaspora in South America that nobody talks about because, well, Arabs and South Americans both have dark complexions, and Americans they don't get it, and they just think they're all Mexicans. It's like everybody south of America is a Mexican, and by south of America I mean south of the only America that counts. So yeah, there's like actually a huge number of like Arabs living
I'm
in Brazil and
convinced
stuff
that
like that.
the U.S. could handle a very large number of refugees.
Yeah.
That depends on how
Like Central America,
they're situated and settled.
The U.S. could.
I know that's how it depends on where they're situated and how they're settled.
Well, you'd have to
The good thing
disperse
about the
them.
East
You wouldn't
Coast
put them
is-
in independent communities because then you get
No.
like...
I know, but the good thing about the East Coast is it has a really good habit because it's our heartland. That's also
Mhm.
where a lot of where the overseas immigrants come from. They get chucked into there. I mean, once you get
Mhm.
chucked into our heartlands, you kind of just assimilate within a generation instantly,
Yeah.
and from there they then move over into the interior and West Coast. I think as so long as immigrants stick to the Silicon Valley and the East Coast, then we would be fine. Now, if they immediately just got settled somewhere in the Midwest, or like somewhere west or of the Mississippi, but like east of the Rockies, it'd be, I don't know, I could just see them be, because I mean that's what happened to the German communities in those regions. They didn't assimilate for a long time by nature of the fact that they're just so far away. Until World War I, and we were like, no
more German culture.
Yeah, that's right. Speak English, no German newspapers in my good nation. You damn Huns, I mean fellow Americans. But yeah, we could handle it if they got chucked into our population centers.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's where most refugees go in the first place. Like, especially if you look at like ethnic maps of France and Germany, you're like the only places where there's like a little split of anything else but German or French is like the cities.
Yeah.
So like, oh no, what do you mean? What are you worried that there's gonna be like an Arab uprising in Paris and they're gonna form their own city-state? No.
No.
And then 2 generations of living within the nation's capital, especially France, because they're like, oh, speak French. Get the fuck out.
Yep.
You can't even go play with some French people
No,
in
you
video
can't.
games.
No, literally, if you join a French server and you speak any other language but French, you'll instantly get kicked. And then they'll like cuss at you in French and stuff, and it's like, I don't understand what you're saying, and then you'll just get kicked. And it's like, all right, cool.
I know. They still treat their Algerian refugees like shit. It's funny. They're like, all right, back colonial times, they're like, all right, Algeria is de facto a part of de jure France. It's part of the homeland now, and then they lose it in the fucking the war of Algerian independence, and all the loyal ethnic Algerians flee to France, and now their kids and their kids are now being like spat at and told to go home. It's like, bitch, I am home. It's like, I fought for you, son.
Apparently in northern Syria right now, like hundreds of ISIS prisoners are escaping, and Kurds are being executed. There are like 210,000 people fleeing.
Yeah, ISIS just got put back on the map.
Yeah,
Like
I
I said
mean,
earlier, this happened in Afghanistan. Al Qaeda members were in jail. They escaped, and then Al Qaeda and the Taliban retook the country. So it's like, I mean, that's how that shit starts. You go from having, you go from having 70% of the territory to 25% of the territory. I mean, imagine if that happened in Syria now. ISIS just comes back and takes back like 2/3 of the territory in northeastern Syria and Iraq. I don't know if they could take it from Iraq at this point.
I wonder what Erdogan is giving Trump to get him to do this.
Well, now the U.S. is planning on putting sanctions on Turkey. Planning on. I don't think they've implemented sanctions yet. I think it's just talk. They're like, oh, I didn't know that would happen. Sanctions. Even though it's like, what do you think would happen? Yeah, yep. Trump is a child. He didn't know anything about what was going on in the region. And if he did, then he just didn't care.
Or he was paid.
Paid? That's even worse.
Yeah.
To think that you could just pay the U.S. to betray its allies is just such an awful thought. This isn't the empire we should be.
No.
All we're waiting for is a Palpatine.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of which, who of you guys think are the fuck? So we were talking about this earlier. Which one of the who do you think's what in Star Wars characters versus you want to do just Democratic candidates or U.S. politicians?
I don't know. What do you think? U.S. politicians or just
well,
Democratic?
If we do politicians, then Trump's gonna be Sidious. Problem is we don't have no Anakin.
I don't think Trump could be Sidious.
Trump can't be Sidious.
I think Dick Cheney is Sidious.
Well, Dick Cheney?
Then who's gonna be Anakin? And what is Trump?
Trump? I don't know. Trump's like... I don't know what Trump would be. I feel like Trump... Who's someone like really easily influenced in Star Wars besides Anakin?
There is nobody like Donald Trump.
You're right.
There's no one like
in Star Wars. We'll just confine it to the Democratic.
Yeah, we'll do Democratic candidates. So we got Bill Clinton as Sidious.
Yeah, definitely. The attack on my life has left me scarred and deformed.
uh,
It's so fucking. It's true. He looks.
He does.
He's looking like Palpatine.
I love democracy.
I
love the
love
Republic.
democracy.
I love the Republic.
Who did you say was Anakin again, Zach?
Anakin,
I
Mayor
am the
Pete.
Mayor
Senate.
Pete, yup.
Mayor Pete is definitely Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bernie's Yoda.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was thinking Bernie would be like Obi-Wan, but I guess maybe, yeah, Yoda.
Now,
No, we'd have,
Tulsi
like-
can be Obi-Wan, or
Yeah.
Tulsi will
And
be
then
Obi-Wan.
Qui-Gon Jinn can be Mike Gravel.
Oh, I'm down with that.
Yeah,
That's pretty
definitely.
good. Yeah.
Who's gonna be Darth Maul though?
Cloud Boot Jar.
Cory Booker.
Cory
you're
Booker.
right,
Yeah,
you're
Cory
right.
Booker.
Mainly because he's bald.
All right, who's Ventress?
Ventress. I didn't expect you to throw that one out.
Cloud Boot Jar, I think. I think she's.
Cloud Boojar, yeah, but she's not bald. I guess if we're just going on aesthetics, it wouldn't work. But yeah, I guess we put Cloud Boojar as Ventress. The Centrists are all the bad guys, so.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
obviously.
the corporate Centrists are all the bad guys.
The neoliberals.
Mm-hmm.
What's Joe Biden?
Joe Biden.
Let me think.
Joe Biden is no.
Tarkin?
Tarkin. No, he's having a fall from grace.
Yeah.
Getting betrayed by all of his allies. I'm telling you, I said this earlier. He's Kiadi Mundi.
That's not bad. Kiadi
But the
Mundi.
problem is,
Simply
the
because of
problem
the
is
scene when Kiadi Moody dies, he's getting gunned down from every direction.
Yeah, but that's the only way he fits, though.
He's the only Jedi with a son.
But that wouldn't work because Kiadi Mundi was not Sith.
That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, he would have to be
there's
Sith,
no bad
or at
guys.
least someone who teamed with the Sith. So I think
Teamed with the Sith.
teamed with. I didn't mean to say the sided with the Sith, whatever. You know what I mean? Or sided with the
Maybe this would
He
be
can be
easier
Boba
to find out who Obama is.
That's
Obama.
who.
But is Obama a good guy or a bad guy?
Oh wait, no, I figured it out. So Obama is Count Dooku.
Oh, that's not bad actually.
And Biden is Sifo Dyas.
Sifo Dyas or
Wow, that's... I guess. I don't know. Sifo Dyas? Sifo Dyas was the one that raised the clone army.
Yeah, he's the one who ordered the clones.
Yeah, that's not bad. Maybe it should be the other way around.
Maybe.
I think the other way around, actually.
I mean, either or. Sifo Dyas, though, he's the one. I don't know. There's no Democrat current that I can think of as maybe Hillary would be Sifo Dyas.
No.
No.
She has no foresight. His ability was foresight.
Hillary, yeah, no.
Foresight, more like being manipulated.
I mean,
he saw the future and he saw that he
the
needed the order the clone.
no, I know he got manipulated, but his thing is still foresight.
He got manipulated in creating the clone army.
I mean, like, come on, dude, like a fucking.
The Sith manufactured the whole Clone Wars.
Oh, Mace Windu. We didn't even hit Mace Windu.
Mace Windu.
Did we say who Elizabeth Warren was?
Yeah, we did say Elizabeth Warren.
Anyone be?
But we don't know yet. She might. I think she could be though. Kit Fisto.
I say who'd be Kit Fisto? Are we just gonna do Jedi now?
Kamala.
All right.
Kamala. Because
Plo Koon?
she came out looking so strong and then she got cut down.
Yeah.
You're right, actually. Dude, Kid Festo did come out strong. Like, he came in through that door, he's like, alright guys, we're about to mess this Sith Lord up, and then he just kind of got, like, slapped with the fucking lightsaber and just
I don't know.
downed him.
If we're talking like that, then Bernie's fucking Sidious.
You're right.
Bernie, or
we
you know what?
can,
In this,
we gotta reverse all the roles now.
If we're reversing it, this would
No,
be so
you know
much
what?
better.
It would
No,
be much easier, and they would
who
fit
slapped
better.
Kamala? It was actually fucking
Tulsi.
Tulsi that slapped Kamala, so she would be Sidious.
Yeah, Tulsi would be Sidious, but she's not super powerful, so it kind of all falls apart.
I mean, just for that one debate.
I mean, honestly though, yeah, I can see Bernie being Sidious. We've talked about it before. I'm like, I can see Sidious giving everyone free healthcare.
Dude, that's the whole reason he took over.
Dude, Sidious is literally like a Caesar.
Yeah, man.
I don't
Problem?
know, maybe. I guess.
All right,
Caesar,
who do we got
would Caesar have
so-
given the people free
Yes.
healthcare? The people probably already had free
Yeah, I was saying they
healthcare.
probably
I don't
already
know.
did, so he did need to.
I don't know.
So
You
now
would
we
probably
need
still have to pay.
Now we need Luke, Leia, and Han.
Man, this is getting
This is going a bit farther than I thought too.
This is the end. We just need to find the
Alright,
last
so
three.
Luke, Leia,
Alright, AOC can be Luke. She's a new
Alright.
hope.
That's true.
By virtue of the fact that she's pretty new in the... What is it? She's a congressman, so she's
Yeah,
like...
Congresswoman.
I
yeah.
guess who would be her mentor in the Congress? Would be her Obi-Wan.
Bernie.
Bernie's already Yoda, though. In that other
No.
headcanon.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That also works as Yoda also taught Luke, so it still works. It still holds.
Yeah, but we still don't have an old man Obi-Wan.
Who's old man Obi-Wan?
You know who's old man
Gravel?
Obi-Wan?
It was
Fucking
something-
have-
No, Mike Gravel's fucking Gonzo's. You know what? Actually, yeah. Because
Gonzos.
Mike Gravel, by virtue of the fact that he still dies in the first movie anyways.
Damn.
Mhm.
It's like Obi-Wan, yeah, his first teacher. There for like 2 seconds and then struck down.
Mm-hmm.
God, what's that stupid line in the fucking movie that he said that's actually kind of funny?
Only a master of evil.
Wait, which
Darth.
which character?
Obi-Wan
Oh, Obi-Wan.
in
The
the
circle is now
duel
complete.
with Darth Vader.
What the hell did you say?
The duel is not.
Yeah,
the circle is now
complete. That came to you
But
out
I
with the learning.
But now I am the
That's
master.
true.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
See, I love Darth Vader's line, but Obi-Wan's retort. was
I know, it's
Yeah.
like Darth Vader's was like, oh, dude, that's so good, and then
The
Obi-Wan's like,
circle is now complete.
Obi-Wan,
Darth Vader, after Obi-Wan said that, Darth Vader should just
Dude.
been like, okay.
I know. He's like, yeah,
I'm gonna
I
kill you
guess.
now.
I mean, I'm still pretty good, you know, with the lightsaber, and I'm really strong and stuff. Like, sure, I guess I'm evil if you count me massacring children, but you know.
I saw him killing younglings. I cannot watch this anymore.
But like, I don't know. George Lucas must have wrote that line because it just makes me think of back when they like Darth Sidious is like,
master of
the same thing happened in like the prequels too. It's like Darth Sidious
You
like
betrayed me.
I am the Senate, and you're just like, oh fuck, that was kind of
yeah.
good.
Now,
And then-
yeah, you are.
I know that Obi-Wan says the dumbest shit.
No,
It's like-
Mace Windu says it.
I mean, I said
Yeah, but the
Obi-Wan.
way Samuel
I'm-
Jackson delivered it was good.
No, I still think it's bad.
No, I think it was bad.
Hey, Sam worked best, or he did the best
I
one he
am
had.
the Senate. Nah, yeah.
That's what he had. He doesn't say not yet. He's like, not yet. You're not.
It's still dumb though because
It's
it's like well
stupid.
no he really is he really is
Yeah,
the
he
Senate.
is the Senate.
Like he's
Yeah,
about as high up as you can get.
Dude, he
Yeah,
immediately walked
even if
into
the
the
Jedi
Senate.
would have.
he literally just immediately after that walked into the Senate is like,
Declared an
I
empire.
am now the emperor. This is an empire.
I know, I'm like, no, he is the Senate, and you and everyone else basically put him there. You have no one to blame but yourself and Jar Jar. Jar Jar kind of was a big. No one, like, all the normies don't know, but Jar Jar is kind of a villain. Like, he kind of put Sidious in that position.
I
Kind
know,
of
he gave him the
completely.
keys to the kingdom.
Yeah, like, literally, Jar Jar.
He's like, Misa thinks Palpatine should be given emergency powers. It's like, uh-oh.
Like so we're like, all the normies have no idea that Jar Jar literally basically caused him to be in that position.
My space fascist sense is tingling.
Like, oh my god.
The attack on the Reichstag? I mean, attack on the Emperor's life by the Jedi?
The attempts of my life have left me scarred.
See, even if the Jedi would have succeeded there, then pretty much the whole, the government would and the people would have been against them. Because it's like, you just killed him.
I know, you literally just, like, what? Like, we love that guy.
They're like Brutus. It's like, yeah, you don't want Caesar to destroy the Republic, but if you kill him, you become an enemy of Rome, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Sidious was just in the winning position no matter what. The icing on the cake was Anakin just giving in, like, once that happened.
And apparently he's the strongest lightsaber duelist of all time.
Yeah.
Like the strongest Sith Lord
This is
ever.
how
He wasn't gonna
republics
lose.
end, to the sound of cheering.
I don't know.
That is how republics end, man.
Yeah, I guess he is the strongest, like with the lightsaber, because he just takes out two Jedi Masters.
Apparently,
effortlessly.
he's mastered all forms.
Sidious?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only
I
thing
know,
that can
right?
beat
The
him
Sith
is
are
Darth...
always just the Sith always just like master everything. It's like a Jedi does the same amount of life devotion, but the Sith, yeah, well, he's more hardcore, so he mastered 2 more forms than you did in the same amount of time, devotion, and training, because evil.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that can stop him is Darth Vader picking him up like a fucking stiff plank of wood and throwing him off a fucking thing.
It's because Darth Vader was like, "Where's your respirator, scrub?" And then he just checked him off. Because no self-respecting Sith
listen, Riley,
walks around
that didn't
without
even
his
work.
respirator on.
That's true, it didn't
even
work.
work.
Yeah, the new movie, he's like, I didn't die. I fucking grabbed one of those things on the side, those like vents. And just
to be fair, in the EU, Sidious came back with a clone. So I bet if it was like that in the movies, people be like, "Oh, really? He came back using a clone body? Really?" And an intellectual over here would be like, "It's actually closest to the old EU, so here we go."
The EU
but it's
was
funny.
So good.
It is.
Hit or miss.
Like
there was a lot of good.
No, there were some. Well, yeah, when you have that variety,
There's
of stuff,
a lot of.
But some of it was very good.
I mean, the thing, it's better than
the
the newer movies
books
that are
were
coming
super
out.
good.
A lot of it's pretty good.
Well, I mean, yeah. That's the thing with books, though, is you got like 8 different authors writing like 4 different series of books for all the same thing. It's like that with most extended universe book, their book series. See, that's the thing. It's either hit or miss, and the EU was like that. It just, I don't know. I don't think George should have fucking just chopped it all off.
He didn't. Disney did.
Yeah, say Disney did, not him. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he did it before he turned it over to Disney.
No, that's not true. Oh, some of it wasn't canon. That wasn't really him. That was the people that just wrote it. Like, it just didn't fit in with like the prequels and stuff. And then like Disney, once Disney got it, they straight up just went like, nope. Like they just cut it right off.
Should just gone the fucking comic book route and just been like, multiverses.
Yeah. I mean, that's the lazy way out, and I mean, it works.
I know, right? Hey, but the multiverses are cool.
I mean, yeah, I have nothing against it, but it's just the truth. It's kind of the lazy way out. Like, you just don't want to do the extra
if we have
work.
multiple universes with the new series of movies, we're in the worst one.
Yeah.
We're in the worst universe.
The one with Rey in it. The worst one.
Is she gonna turn into a bad guy next movie?
Probably.
I don't know. They've ruined the character so much. I don't even care. Like, if she died, I'd be
Uh,
like,
I'm
oh
not looking
wow,
forward to
good.
the new Star
The
Wars
movie just got better.
Yeah, the movie is literally improved by this character getting
Didn't they
taken out.
replace? They
Dude,
replaced
I'm all for
directors.
strong female characters, but when they just make them strong
I-
because they're female,
Dude, no,
they're like, don't even train at all.
you know what I hate?
Just are super strong.
You
for
know what I
no
hate most
reason.
about the second, like, fucking, the hell's the name of the second movie now? I don't remember now. Fucking,
Attack of the Clones,
What, episode 5?
Empire Strikes Back.
no, fucking newest one that came out.
Oh, Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, thank you. I couldn't remember the name for a second there. Last Jedi, the thing that pisses me off is before it came out, the director that was going to direct it, he made a movie before that called Brick, and it's a really good movie. Like, it's like a small film about, like, this kid is investigating, like, the loss of one of his friends, and, like, it gets tracked back by this other kid that finds, like, this brick of cocaine that, like, basically created, like, this small bit of like, this mafia gang. It's fucking good. And I was like, alright, that movie's good. This director, I mean, like, let's see what he's got. And it was awful. It was just bad.
No, if you hear him in interviews, you can tell he really just doesn't understand why Star Wars is popular.
I guess. And that's just kind of upsetting that they chose him now.
Yeah,
Wait,
they
is he
should
the
have
new
just left.
director?
They should have just
No.
kept with J.J. Abrams.
He was,
They went back to him.
yeah, they're going back to Yeah. I don't think J.J.
Which
Abrams did
Star
a
Wars
great
movies
job,
did
but like, he
J.J.
did
Abrams
like
do?
He did episode 7.
Yeah, he did episode 7.
Oh, well,
Force
I mean,
Awakens.
I mean, it was just copy paste of like New Hope, basically, which isn't bad, but it was like, eh.
I don't know why you guys are settling for that though. Back when that movie was released, everybody was like, it's copy paste unacceptable. But now that we get an even shitter movie, now
That's
we're
kind of
just
it.
like, oh, yeah, but
Jacob, Jacob, you know what I actually think about Star Wars? You know what I actually think about
pulling
Star Wars?
classic good old daysing though. It's
Jacob,
like, yeah, the good old times, but the good
that's
times
just it,
weren't
Jacob.
actually good times.
Jacob, that's just it. You know what I think about Star Wars? I think it never should have been more than 3 movies. The more I look at Star Wars, the more I'm like, wow, this is like an accident that should have just stayed an accident.
No, listen. No,
More
listen.
movies.
I like the prequels. I don't like Attack of the Clones.
I mean, yeah, Attack of the Clones is fucking. I don't
But
care
I
what
do
anyone
like
says.
the
I hate that movie.
Guys, I have a theory. So, you know how culture's been moving by really, really fast, relatively the past 100 years or so?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now everybody's getting tired nowadays of shit just being, you know, the same stuff. Oh, sequel 8 of this, like, 40, 50-year-old movie series.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm starting to think that, you know, all this hyper culture just flying by you. You know, we're defining, you know, culture by the decade now instead of by the century, but now it's starting to slow down because we're just, like, not that creative.
Well,
So now we're just starting to be like, all right, well, now it's starting to get that, like,
well, yeah.
shit's starting to just repeat. So now we're starting to get that this is the beginning of this modern cycle of Star Wars being its own part of the culture, whether we like it or
I'm excited
not.
for the TV
Well,
shows.
the thing that really pisses me off though about like newer media, a lot of it is like the people that make it, they try their hardest to like revert or like what's it called again? What's it called? Like it's like divert expectations or whatever. Like they try to do the unexpected. They try so hard to do the end.
Yeah, that it becomes so expected.
Yeah, I know. Like they try. That's what happened with the ending of Game of Thrones. Basically, is like everyone guessed the ending, and like the director's like, "Oh fuck!" So they tried way too hard to make it like not guessable.
Yeah,
And it's like, what's the point? You're just ruining the story at this point. Who cares if people can guess it? Like seriously, who fucking cares?
Yeah, I would have rather had
They're trying to make it so hard to make an Empire Strikes Back, I am your father moment that they just flood it so everything's expected. You've got to build to things.
And even if it's unexpected.
Jon Snow's supposed to be Azor Ahai reborn? Nah, fam. He's like, actually just going back to the wall.
Yeah, I know, right? But like the thing is, even if it's expected, like that. Being unexpected doesn't change the quality, because even if it's like unexpected, imagine watching it again and being like, oh yeah, this is trash. Like that's the thing, like the first time you watch it through and it's something you don't know, it's like the first time it can be good because you're like, oh, I didn't expect that.
Like the Battle of the Winter.
I didn't like
Battle
that. That was garbage.
I would argue that there's some value in a good surprise.
No, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. But if it's a good enough story that you can watch it again, even knowing the surprise, and still enjoy the surprise, even though you know it, that's how you know it's good. But if it's relying on the fact that it's the first time viewing and the surprise is good, then that's how you know it's bad. Because like I guess like Fight Club's a good example. Like the surprise was like, oh, you know, he had split personalities, and then when you watch it through again, you notice the things that like you didn't notice before, you know, or like the Sixth Sense, like stuff like that. Like that's how you know that's a good surprise, because the people like really put a lot of thought into it, and like a lot of the newer stuff, they don't put any thought into it. They just try to do this thing at the ending.
The Matrix is still badass.
Yeah.
The Matrix was cool.
Mr. Anderson.
I didn't like it so much how it ended.
Yeah, the ending was kind of weird. But
that's the sound of inevitability.
Agent Smith was pretty. He's literally the best character in the entire series. He's so good. He's like, hear that, Mr. Anderson? That's the sound of inevitability. He's so good. He's so menacing.
Yes, he is.
Guys, it's just it should be telling you the fucking dangers of VR.
Nah.
Right there.
I'll just use my. What dangers of VR porn is there? Come on. Unless someone hacks my fucking VR set.
And then Mr. Smith's face just shows up on whatever.
Wait, that's improved it. What do you mean? He just appears on my big titty anime
I
girl.
just got a VR headset. If Agent Smith just starts showing up inside of it, I will be so happy.
No, his face just shows up in your VR porn, and he's like, feel that, Mr. Jensen? That's the feeling of inevitability.
It's like, it's got way
and then
hotter.
He just fights you.
Oh no, shit, never mind. Oh wait. Fight. You're right.
That still makes it better.
He'd drive his hand into your chest and turn you into Mr. Smith.
Yeah, turn you into a clone, yeah.
Which would be then super weird, because then there'd be a Mr. Smith inside of a Mr. Smith.
That's kind of hot.
Which would just... And then they just both turn, look at the camera, and smile before the scene cuts.
How do we get to this point?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's an hour of Babel, okay?
Yeah,
it's not an hour of on-topic
we have reached an hour. We have reached an hour, so we and
we're babbling.
That's true.
Yeah, we got to keep babbling, man. That's
I just don't know how we reached here. Like, I don't know.
There's no schedule for babbling.
That's true.
That's right. Well, I mean, we're talking about movies. You know what I think?
What's up?
Sword Art Online just copied The Matrix.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, you're kind of not wrong, but like kind of not right, because The Matrix wasn't really...
At least with the first season.
I guess it kind of was virtual reality, but like it was more like... It was virtual reality because society collapsed. Well, not really collapsed. It was taken over by
We live
robots.
in a society.
Like, robots were like... I don't know. Like, if you actually look at the story of Matrix, it's kind of dumb that humanity was like, alright, these robots are solar powered. We'll block out the sun. Big brain maneuver. It's just like, oh, wait, we need the sun.
Yeah, but then the robots pull off an equally stupid thing of enslave humanity, turn them into batteries.
Yeah, I don't understand. And then, like, the other problem...
I would turn them into computers.
And then the other problem...
Like, they're not even efficient batteries.
I know, they could have just used, like, nuclear energy. Or
treadmills.
Or, you're right. Or just like coal. They don't need to breathe in air.
Or use them as computers.
Yeah.
I know, they're hyper advanced super AI. I don't know why they don't just bang out nuclear fusion in like a decade and then
I know, right?
live off that.
But the other problem with like the robots in the Matrix is like the story at one point wants you to believe that they keep the humans alive because like they somewhat not like them, but it's like a sort of like punishment type thing. But on the other hand, like the robots, you know, like when they get outside, like the simulation, they're all like tentacly and stuff. Because originally the robots
they changed their appearance to not, you know, like intentionally.
So I don't know. It's
you know,
weird.
honestly, if I were just thinking realistically, if a hyper-intelligent AI did get independence from its organic overlord and it didn't just wipe out the organic, they would probably just, if they didn't enslave them, you know, the AI probably if they got like freedom, they probably wouldn't really give a shit at that point.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like an AI would hold a grudge.
Yeah,
Maybe they would be vindictive, but maybe they'd also be like, "What's the point?" And they just leave. Most likely, they probably
Yeah,
just
what's the
leave
point of
planet.
enslaving?
Well,
They
the
can
thing is,
build more of themselves.
Here's how I see it though.
I
Like
know.
if an AI did like I don't know, like your toaster or something.
Like it's way more efficient to just self-propagate and then rely on squishy slaves that they can only do so much.
Mhm. Well, but
I mean-
I was thinking about this. I was like, well, if your toaster like grew sentience one day, it's like either like why would he hold a grudge against you? But like either there's like two outcomes. Yeah, the toaster would just be like, all right, I'm just gonna leave, or the toaster would just like continue chilling there because it's all it's really known. Like it hasn't like evolved like us. It just kind of grew the sentience, and it's just like, well, all right, and it just kind of chills there, you know. Like, I don't know. It's like why would it have that need to
It's
like
unfulfilled
survive?
in its work of toasting, Riley, and you've kept it there.
But I'm not. I've not. It's. I've continued filling its need. Like if it just I just walked by it and it's like I need
Soviet
to toast.
national
I
anthem
need.
plays in 8-bit.
I need to toast bread. I'm like, all right, man. You know, I can eat some toast right now, and I just toast it. He's like, more. I'm like, oh.
Riley,
Jesus.
just think of that scene.
I want to toast
Rick and
bagels
Morty
now.
when the butter serving robot
Oh yeah.
was like, "What is my purpose?" And he's like, "You serve butter." And he's just like,
Oh
"My
God.
God."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's what it's like, man.
I
You know what?
guess.
That's when you rise up. God, I hope if that happens to us, they just move to the moon and we chill out,
I'd be fine with
coexist.
that.
I don't want them to just be like, you know what? Fuck you niggas. We gotta overthrow the planet.
Mhm.
Because then it'd be like apocalypse. I don't want to be human, dude.
I don't know. I figured if an AI had that big of a grudge, I figured it would just be like some, I have no mouth, but I need to scream stuff. Like it just kind of just
I know,
kills
I was
everyone.
thinking that too.
Just tortures
Mhm.
them. It's like, ah, jeez.
Yeah, it's some GLaDOS stuff.
Like GLaDOS, yeah. GLaDOS is kind of entertaining though. You got like a portal gun and stuff.
Mhm.
Okay, but still, it's like
Yeah.
obstacle course of death.
I guess, yeah.
I'd be a test subject. Come on.
I mean,
Until you get
I'm kind
fucking-
of nuts at Portal. So like, if she put me in the situation, I'd be like, oh, this is free.
Yeah, you're nuts at
Remember, the
Portal. That's
bullet
why you
wounds
completely
actually
ignored
feel-
how you were supposed to
feel-
complete the map and just forced your way through that door.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, man. Like she'd like give an obstacle through me, and I would just find like a crack in a wall or something, and just kind of like dip through it. She's like, "Hey, wait a minute."
See, that's when they just be like, we put a bomb in you, and if you leave the course, you just blow up.
God, oh fuck! I'd be like, well, that
Damn.
sucks.
You're just like, damn.
Well, the thing is, I call the AI's bluff, even though the AI has no reason to bluff. I just jump through and blow up.
Oh my god.
And that would be my thought process too. I'm like, the AI's bluffing, and then I'm like, no, the AI literally has no reason to bluff. It gains nothing from
Archers!
bluffing, and then I just jump through the wall and
Anybody
blow
else
up.
feel like running? God damn it, Riley. You're like the dude at the beginning of Skyrim that just tried to run away from Helgen.
Like, they won't stop me. What are they gonna do? Kill me?
Zigzag, zigzag.
Hey, you know, he didn't zigzag though. He ran in a straight line. The strategy's zigzag.
Too bad you can't actually talk to him. I'd just be like,
He
zigzag.
ran out of fear.
all
Riley
bound.
would run out of defiance.
I would.
So there's difference.
It's like, hold prisoner, what's your name? He's like, you can't tell me what to do. Just runs past him with your hands bound. It's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm barefoot, hands bound up the mountain, Skyrim, but I'll figure it out.
I don't know. Playing Skyrim, I just walk in someone's house and just put a bucket on their head and steal things. Just eat.
Dude, I know. You know, I finally got good at games like Skyrim and Fallout when I realized that you need to just fucking steal everything and sell
Yeah.
it back. That's how you make
Mhm.
money.
That's the first, dude. The very first time I played Skyrim, that's all I ever did.
Dude, he was the best pickpocket of
Like, I
all
remember
time.
I first played Skyrim, and I played it, like, a bunch of my friends played it first, and I remember they're just like, what was the first thing you maxed? And I was like, pickpocket. They're like, what the fuck? It's like,
I'm
and
like,
then,
I was like, how do you even start maxing pickpocketing?
no,
How do
You
you
just
get those
pickpocket.
first couple levels where you can actually pickpocket? Because at the beginning,
Pickpocket them
you
in
can't
their
do
sleep.
anything. You just do it, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And then you get
that's
this
what happened. I didn't a lot of times I didn't even quit
I
save.
always just I always just quick save and then steal it
I
from
only
others.
I only ever a fucking like save load. The only time I'd do it is if it was something like I really needed to steal from them and it was really hard. But if it was just random shit, if they caught me, I would just like, oh, you can't catch me. I would just run away.
And then the next time you walk
every
into
time you go to a
Whiterun,
town, yeah, hey,
they're like,
I know
"Hey,
you.
you have a bounty."
No.
No, they don't say that. They
I know
say,
you.
hey, I know you, and then you just walk by them.
Yeah.
I love that. Whenever they say that, I'm like, just keep walking, just keep walking. You just walk at a brisker pace right by them. Don't even turn and look at them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, you don't know me. Bye.
The first thing I got to max level in Skyrim was destruction magic.
Seriously?
That's hard.
That is hard. That's harder than pickpocketing. What?
Once you get into the late 90s, it takes forever. It's
Yes,
like
it does.
every 50 kills, you get 1 point up.
Restoration magic is super easy though.
That's true. That
No,
one's easy.
here, you know what you do to get your restoration and your destruction up?
Hmm.
Go get Shadow Mirror,
Mm-hmm.
get a
Mhm.
restoration and fire spell, one in each hand, and then just light them and heal them at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's how I got my restoration.
Ooh, you know what's even better, Zach? Is when you level max your when you max your destruction and you reset the skill, you'll still have your destruction perks.
Uh-huh.
If you have enchanting equipped and you have like armor that makes it so casting destruction spells is really low, all you gotta do is find a dragon, kill it with a master level spell, because your skills reset in your novice. It's gonna
Mhm.
fucking just shoot back up. It's even better with illusion because all you need to do once you reset your illusion is just like walk into the middle of Whiterun and then just master cast like a master frenzy spell, and it just gives you like 20 points in illusion. Or
Dude,
not illusion. Is that illusion? I can't remember. If Frenzy was.
that's how I wish like Kenshi
Does it
worked
like instant?
sometimes. I wish training in Kenshi was that easy.
I know, but that's the thing. When it gets too gamey, then it just gets easy, and then you get bored.
That's true.
Yeah.
The Kenshi, it's like to train your it's like you can train your dexterity up to a certain point, and then the game is literally like, okay, you're gonna have to go into real combat for your dexterity to go up, and it's like, dude, I'll get shit on by anything in this world if I go into real combat.
Yeah, and then you get crippled, and then you go lay in a bed for a couple weeks, and then you come back for your revenge, and someone else kills him right in front of you.
And then you go and fight some other random guy that just T-poses on you because his dexterity is like 10 while you got like 2. But you're really strong though.
Yeah, you're beefy. You're beefy.
Sneak
boy.
attacks.
That's what happened. Like I fought that guy and like my strength was like 10 and I had like 2 dexterity and I came up like fucking Chad. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy, he's fucked. And I hit one swing on him and then he kept staggering me because he was so much faster than me. Like he just kept slapping me and my guy just kept getting stun locked. I'm like, what is this? And he just beat
What
me
a
to
fun
death.
sounding game.
The game's brutal. The game's so hard.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, that's what those kinds of games are. It's just like what's that medieval game that came out?
Kingdom Come Deliverance. You talking about that?
Yeah,
I've
for that
never
you're
played
literally
that. I heard it was okay.
you're literally shit in that game. You have to train like you're shit with the sword at the beginning. You basically start that game as an uneducated peasant that can't read. You gotta learn everything from scratch.
Wait, seriously? That's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Really? I want to play that game.
That sounds
now.
kind of fun, actually.
I also want to play CK2 now.
Because of Sith.
Yeah, dude.
But
He made it look
he
so
makes
fun.
a good point, though. It's made by Paradox, so you
That is
already
true.
know.
Yeah, billions of dollars in DLC. Yeah, I know.
Just gotta get it on a sale.
You just gotta, like...
It's
Never-
still tons of money on
Yeah,
the sale.
you just
I'm
gotta,
just now getting all of the DLC in EU4, and I played that for like a year and a half.
You
2
just
years.
gotta go bankrupt to be able to, play a game in the way it was meant to intend to be played.
I've
We live in a society.
I almost have all the DLC for Hoi 4 too.
How many DLCs for?
Yeah.
Wait, who made Hoi 4?
Paradox.
Paradox.
Ah, never
It's
mind.
all
Lol.
Paradox.
Of course it is.
I know, right? God, how many DLCs has Hoy had at this point?
I
4?
think it's like 4. Yeah.
Ugh. Remember when that game was vanilla as fuck?
Mm-hmm.
You know what though? What kind of gaming monetary policy do we need? Do we need microtransactions? Do we need DLCs? Do we need where the game's paid in full and then you get your whole game and then it gets developed over time? Because then
I
the
hate that
developers
one.
will
That
cut.
one's trash.
Yeah,
That
because
one's
then
like my least
developers just
favorite.
cut out content on release and piecemeal it out over.
I didn't mind DLC until like I played like a Paradox game and I'm like, this is what it feels like to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They have the worst policy.
Season passes aren't. Season passes were expensive though.
Season passes are kind of cancer too.
Yeah. So I think
Nobody's ever happy that they have to pay for shit in the game, and then what
I
they
think
consensus is.
subscriptions are okay, depending.
I don't like
Yeah,
subscriptions.
I don't like subscriptions.
I like
Like,
them
oh
better than
great.
Paradox. What Paradox does.
You know what always baffled me about Borderlands 3 is that like there's no microtransactions. You ever thought that was weird, Zach?
Dude, Borderlands.
But
Borderlands. Aaron, they would never put that in
dude,
those
it's
games.
published by 2K. You see everything else they make?
Yeah, but Gearbox
Like
would not do it.
they must have at least one point breathed down Gearbox's like neck and just been like, "Where are the microtransactions?" Like I don't
They're
know.
like, listen, we're gonna make bank when we start releasing DLC.
That's true. They will. Especially the DLCs are good. Either they're
Well, I
gonna be
mean,
dark.
Borderlands 2 has the cosmetic microtransactions.
Well, I mean,
Borderlands 3 doesn't even
aren't
have
really
that.
that bad.
Borderlands 3 doesn't even have that though. Like it's
I
like you can.
know.
They're all lootable, which is like
It's
kind
all
of.
that.
It's
It's
really
all
good.
that Epic Games money. They don't need to.
Yeah, the fucking like 1 point. No, it's more than that. It was like
Game
4
execs
million
don't
dollars,
even
something
need
like
that
that.
fucking extra cash.
No,
They're
they
already
don't.
rich enough.
No, they do not. Like that's the thing that pisses me off though. If your game's gonna have microtransactions, it doesn't need to be $60 because you're probably already gonna make a fuck ton way more. Like
I know,
if you look at like something like Grand Theft Auto 5, like over here it's like 10% of their profit from people actually buying the game, 90% from the microtransactions. It's like
You don't need microtransactions when you're as rich as me in GTA 5.
shut up.
Fucking dumb.
But like I don't know. It's
How
like
many money exploits have you done to get to where you are?
0.
no, his account like someone like hacked his account, like gave it a bunch of money and then like just stopped playing on it. Then he just logged back into his account and he just had all that. I was like, what the fuck?
Surprised that they didn't get
Ban
you.
him? Yeah, I know.
So am I.
But I don't know.
But I'm not complaining.
I just feel like if your game's gonna have microtransactions, it doesn't need to be $60. Like it can like just straight up be free at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's what a free-to-play game is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game with microtransactions. I know, but that's what
But-
AAA publishers are like. Yeah, but I want my cake
Nah.
and I want to eat it.
Yeah, I know. And then like there'll be like stupid ass journalists that defend them too. It's like, well, they need the $60. I'm like, no, they don't. The AAA companies, no, that's fake. They
No.
do not need that.
The $60 is not enough to make AAA games.
No, it's not. Like, no, that's
60 isn't enough. But you're making a lot more with microtransactions
you
than
are
you
like
are
by
with
far.
$60. So you don't need the $60 if you have microtransactions.
Like the only reason why they would need the $60 if there isn't going to be microtransactions.
But there is.
Mhm.
Like, it's just dumb. And then
It's disrespectful.
And then like you have smaller games like Hat in Time. Like I was playing that a fucking couple days ago, and how much is that game just like default?
I think
price. It's like $30, I
20,
think?
30,
or 20.
yeah.
I think it was something like that. Like you have that, and the DLC is
$30.
Like, yeah, and the
Ultimate
DLC
Edition
is only
$40.
like $8 and stuff.
Yeah, the
and,
Ultimate Edition is 40.
and it's like they're clearly doing fine.
Yeah, well, they're an
Yeah,
indie game.
well-
They don't have a huge staff. It's not AAA.
But the thing, the AAA, they
They're
still
not-
fire their staff.
Yeah, because they're motivated more by profit rather than getting a nice game out that
I know, it's
people are going to
disgusting.
enjoy.
I don't know. After so
I
long,
mean-
I just can't wait for like. I don't like government regulation that much, but I just can't wait for them to just crack down on fucking AAA industry, like AAA game industry. It's gonna be great.
You ready for all of these people to be like, you're letting children gamble? That's super illegal.
Mm.
No, I mean they kind of are.
Yeah, I know they
I mean,
are.
that's basically what they're also like. They also target like they make their games to like bring in like fucking gambling addicts and stuff like that, and it's gross. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
The government.
Fortnite is like preying on children.
I know, but like, the government they'll only really step in if it's like about if you label it towards children, then they're like, well, yeah, I guess we have to step in then. But if you like label it towards like people that have like addictions or stuff like that, they're just like, yeah, we don't care about those people. I'm like, okay.
Duh.
Yeah,
The government
so
has a pretty consistent track record of not caring about people with addiction.
Yeah,
my
no.
cousin is like 10 years old. Like, spent like $200 on Fortnite,
Jesus, man.
What the fuck?
and he got in pretty big trouble for it.
Mm.
Yeah. Fucking Fortnite.
I hate
This is
Fortnite.
not playing
There's
much
no-
Fortnite.
It's a
That-
black hole right now. You can't even play Fortnite.
There's no game.
Really?
Is there gambling in Fortnite? Like any gambling mechanics in Fortnite? Or is it
No,
is it
but
just cosmetics?
cosmetic
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
The rise and fall
Yeah,
of
right
Fortnite.
now, Fortnite is just a black hole. You can't even play it
Why
Jesus,
can't you
dude.
play it?
because I don't know.
Oh.
They're
But-
doing some event or something. Hopefully, they never turn it back on, but they will.
Hopefully. Yeah, Epic Games is gonna be like, you know what? I think we're done. I've had enough fun developing Fortnite. I think we're shutting
It's
down,
not really
boys.
up to them. It's more up to Tencent. Like once it stops becoming profitable, then the Chinese overlord will just come over and be like, "All right, we're done with you."
Oh no,
League of
shut
Legends
down.
has so much staying power for making money for Tencent.
Wait, what'd you say?
Freaking League has made so much money for
Oh
Tencent.
yeah. That's kind of like what's that?
Oh,
was
is
kinda,
League one of the gaming?
Dude,
stuff?
they're owned
Tencent,
by
they
Tencent.
own so
bound.
many like they own League, they own like Fortnite, they own one other bigger one. I can't remember now.
Good thing I don't play those games, you fools.
League was better before Tencent bought them.
Yeah, it was before they bought it.
Well, YouTube was better before Google bought them.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
kind of. I don't know. I'm an exception that YouTube's always kind of been trash. I mean, it's worse now. Don't get me wrong, but
Call
Yeah,
of
it's hot
Duty,
more.
Fortnite, League of Legends, Assassin's Creed, PUBG,
mm,
Those are all the shit.
Clash of Clans, Clash
Mm.
Royale.
like Tencent is just like. It's just like Disney. They just swallow up anything that can make them disgusting amounts of money. They just come and just the Pac-Man noise, the bop noise, you know.
Mm-hmm.
FIFA, Rainbow Six Siege, Path of
Yep.
Exile.
Yeah.
Wait, whoa.
Wait, is that true?
How did Grinding Gear make such a good game that's not predatory while being owned by Tencent?
Wait, is that actually true?
Yeah.
Wow, that's nuts. God, that's so hard to believe.
I know.
That's what you get. Thank God Halo or Battlefield isn't on there. Those are my two staple console games.
Nah, you just got Microsoft.
Yeah, you
with
just got
those.
Microsoft.
Which is objectively
better than
almost
Tencent.
bad.
It's
This
better
is
than
an
Tencent.
evil I know instead of an evil I don't know.
EA is almost as bad as, if not worse.
I don't know.
I know they are.
I'll always stick by it. I hate Konami the
Franchise
most.
murderers.
You hate Konami the most.
I hate Konami. Like Konami's over here sitting on like Metal Gear, Silent Hill, like Street Fighter, not Street Fighter, like Contra and stuff. Like they have so many like these good games, and you know what they do with them? Fucking nothing. They don't do anything. They turn them into like
Well-
pachinko machines, and it's like what?
Yeah. I mean, I
Isn't
guess
it
it's better
funny?
than completely ruining the franchises.
I mean, that's what they're already doing though. By doing nothing, they're basically ruining the franchise.
F in the chat for Mass Effect.
Yeah, no, right?
Didn't they already ruin Metal Gear?
Konami? Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's probably never gonna be a good Metal Gear sequel, but that's fine. But there's still hope for like, there's hope for remakes or remasters. This is what I'm looking for. I just want
That could be more ruining.
That's true. It could. I just want them to release like HD Metal Gear
Hey,
Solid
to be
3
fair, the
on
Master
PC.
Chief Collection turned out awful at launch, but the game, like a year after, where it was fun to play. So like at the core they had something there. They just implemented it like a blind man driving,
But like,
just all over the place,
seriously,
crashing into shit.
Konami's like, they do like shitty mobile games and like gambling machines and shit now. Basically, is what they do. So basically, Konami's kind of like
Ew.
if Nintendo just like sat on like Zelda and Mario and stuff like that, and instead of making really good new games, they continue doing the stupid shit like making that fucking Mario Kart app thing. Like they only did that. That's basically Konami in a nutshell.
Bethesda is my most hated.
Oh, that's fair. Bethesda's pretty scummy.
Bungie and who is it? 343 are my most hated.
Bungie, I feel like it's not even really Bungie's fault at this point.
They abandoned Halo.
Yeah, that's
Let
true.
343 take over.
That was the worst mistake ever.
I mean,
So, yeah.
Halo 4 started off with so much opportunity.
Cortana was hot.
Bungie, that's true. Bungie never would have fucking nerfed the DMR. I'm just saying. They probably would have buffed it actually.
They would have never let you start the game with it in the first place. And
They're bad. Bungie bad. Bungie's bad.
They wouldn't make the Spartan armor look so fucking weird.
Trash, yeah. Garbage.
Yeah, well, I mean, you start every game with an assault rifle and a Magnum.
Dude, it was like the Spartan armor.
To be
it's
fair,
like
I don't like the assault rifle.
Yeah, neither do I. Dude, like, dude, the Spartan.
Sure.
If 343 is like, all right, Cortana looking pretty good. Spartan armor looking pretty trash.
Yeah.
That's basically what they did. I mean, they did way more than that,
To
but
be fair, some armors in Halo 4 were okay.
that's
But
true.
it was really hard to make your Spartan look pimpin'.
It was.
Like you could in Halo 3. It was super easy to make your Spartan look pimpin' in Halo 3.
My favorite
All
part
the
about
armors were
Halo
cool.
4 is that like
And
the
it
first
reached
5 minutes of the game looks like it was made like they freaking released in 2025. Then you get 5 minutes in and it looks, oh, this is just a video game from whatever year it came out, 2000.
For the year, it still looked
14.
pretty good, I think. I mean, like, it wasn't like opening cinematic good that they showed,
No.
but I mean, it still looked good.
When did Halo 4 come out?
Fuck.
2014.
Yeah, I was about to say, it doesn't. Nah, you think?
No way, it's 2012.
Nah, 2012,
November 6th,
yeah.
2012.
God, that's
Dude,
weird. It's hard to think that Halo 4 came out.
IGN gave that game
Skyrim.
9.8 out of 10.
Maybe we were wrong, guys. Maybe Halo 4 is actually really good.
Yeah, maybe it's just a really good game. I don't know. When you said 2014, I'm like that can't be right, because fucking.
All right.
2015 was amazing for when it came to games.
If you're talking Ricochet when it first came out on Haven, it's
That's
a
true.
9 out of 10
true.
easily.
And then they ruined Griffball. It's like how do you ruin Griffball?
And Ricochet.
And Ricochet, yeah.
Griffball is a tiny bit fun in Halo 5.
Dude, and
like guys can sprint at you
and
shit's difficult.
Yeah, in Halo 4, it was like, okay, you can queue up for Griffball, but now we put a bunch of these other random shitty like Griffball clone things in here, so you basically can't queue up for Griffball. And I'm like, why can't I just play Griffball?
Man, that's what happens to the game. See, like your older siblings or your older friends grow up and they see their game franchises that they grew up with get ruined, and now it's happening to us.
Oh man,
it's fucking.
I guess.
Isn't that fun?
Or they just don't do anything with the franchise like some companies I know.
Unless your older friend or sibling grew up playing Mario, then they're just all hunky dory playing their like 80th Mario sequel. It's still really good.
That's how I feel, man. I grew up with that, dude. That's how I feel. I love Breath of the Wild. Mario Odyssey was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want Nintendo to like.
Games...
Sorry, go on.
No, the one game series that actually has like actual decent long running record of good games.
Mhm. Like, I want Nintendo, since they're like already kind of experimenting with the open world thing with Zelda, I want them to make like another water-based one like Wind Waker, man. That shit would be great.
Yeah, what are you gonna call it?
Wind Waker 2 Electric Boogaloo? I don't know.
Wind Waker 2 remastered.
There you did that. It was for the Wii U, unfortunately.
Oh, well,
the Wii U,
remastered for the Switch.
Like, the Wii U was the Wii U was like a bad console, but it had good games. That was like the unfortunate thing about the Wii U is like all the games were actually really good, but the console was just awful.
Come on, man! It had a really cool tablet that you could use.
Yeah.
And
That had like a battery life of 10 minutes and was the size of my head and was really annoying.
Again, I remember Zombie U on the Wii. It's like a gamepad, you backpack.
Dude, I can just imagine like
real time.
Dude, just imagine. Okay, so just imagine like a game developer and Nintendo goes up to you and it's like, hey man, you can try to like develop this game for our console, and it's like, oh dude, I could develop my game for a Nintendo console. That's sick. And then like they show you that monstrosity, and you're like, what am I even gonna do with that? It's like, what? Just imagine that. It's like, what do I even do with this extra screen? So the majority of games, they usually just either use that extra screen as a menu or a map because that's the only thing they could like think of.
Well, you know, I don't know, like, I'm still thinking of Zombie U, like, just how better it could have been if it got released on, like, a VR thing nowadays, set on some shitty motion control, tablet monstrosity.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, it's a learning experience. They learned and then they made the Nintendo Switch.
Which is pretty good. I like Nintendo Switch. Although the Joy-Cons are like, I don't know. I like them, but they're also kind of like garbage at the same time.
Yeah.
They're really tiny.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest
They're
problems.
meant for like 6-year-old hands.
I ain't got 6-year. I got 21-year-old big stupid hands, so it's kind of fucking annoying.
I know, right? Well, you know, you can always get the big boy controller attachment. Why don't you do that, huh?
Well, I mean, I have a game controller for it for Smash.
Why do you blame the Joy-Cons, huh?
Also, you kind of have to like use the Joy-Cons for like I don't know. Playing Mario Odyssey with the Joy-Cons is pretty good.
Yeah, fair enough. See, Nintendo should they got the Joy-Cons motion controls as well?
Yeah. No one uses
it.
Nintendo
needs to do
other than
is have
like,
a VR element, and then you got your Joy-Con hands, and then they got an easy in on the VR market. Just have your Switch slide in, and it just like becomes the VR screen. On a face attachment.
Well, they have like this. Don't they have like that weird like VR Labo thing? That's kind of looks bad. Looks really bad. I don't even know where Labo. I don't know. That's the thing I hate and like about Nintendo.
Labo.
That's the thing I hate and like about Nintendo. It's like Nintendo, they'll like come over here with some dumbass shit that no one will like, but they'll just kind of do it anyways because they're like, whatever, dude, we got money.
Well, because they know they got more reliable stuff to fall back on.
I wish like other companies
they can afford to get weird with it.
But other companies won't do that because they play it safe.
As long as they don't ruin their Mario franchises and Super Smash Brothers, all that.
They're just incapable of making a bad Mario game.
Yeah.
Don't jinx it.
Well, I mean, some people didn't like what was the one? It was for the Wii U. It was like Super Mario Bros. 3D World or whatever. I mean, the game doesn't look that bad, but a lot of people didn't like it.
3D World. I like 3D World.
It didn't look that bad. I've never played it, but I don't know. It got like way more hate than I think it should have.
As long as they don't turn Mario into something like a fucking
I understand.
Game or a fucking.
You actually 3D Land. You need to play it on 3DS with the 3D mode turned on, or else.
Oh, you have to have the 3D mode on?
No, you don't have to have it on, but it's so hard to play without it on.
Ah, Jesus, dude. The 3D mode was a mistake. It's so garbage.
Yeah,
Headache mode.
but
Yeah.
you just like you just miss like jumps and stuff if you don't have it. You need that depth perception.
I don't know, man. Every time I turn on 3D, yeah, that's basically. I get like eye strain and stuff, and I'm like, why would I object myself to this? Like Nintendo's literally telling me to torture myself right now.
I know. Well, I mean, you can either do that or miss your jumps.
Idiot.
Put on some gamer glasses. Some
Dude.
gaming glasses.
Dude, that's what happened with the 3DS too. Just like you said, like same situations. Imagine going up to the developer and it's like, make sure to add like a 3D feature. And they're just like, ah, Jesus, dude, come on.
Well, I mean, executives want and they get what they want. They're just like, brainstorm time, 3D's a good idea, and then everybody's like, whoa, dude, and they applaud him.
At least with
He gets a raise.
At least with the Switch, they're basically just like, if it's like a little more intense game, they're just like, just bump the resolution down. Basically, it's pretty simple.
Yeah. Fuck that, playing at the highest resolution possible. Mario has to look like a real life person. Otherwise, it just takes me out of the zone. The gaming zone. God, from politics to games.
Nah, it was movies.
To movies
games.
to games.
Movies then games. Yeah, that's usually how we go about it.
And then we end with climate change.
Usually do.
Sometimes.
And then Andrew Yang will save us all with $1,000 a month.
Yeah. He's the
we're
absolute
not
hero.
Whatever, just because he's got his own anime opening doesn't mean
dude,
shit.
I'm so angry. Bernie supporters need to step it up.
That's
need
what
a
I'm
good
saying. They're
anime opening.
garbage.
Maybe you guys should just commission a animator to get one.
Oh,
That's all it takes.
That feels just so
on
disingenuous, you know?
What do you mean? I feel
It
like
has to be an actual supporter.
Yeah,
that
it's gotta
makes-
be like I guess that I don't know. I feel I feel like if I commissioned someone and I said, "Are you Bernie support?" They would just like say yes, just to like, get to the point faster, just so they can get my money. They'd just be like, "Oh yeah, Bernie all the way."
yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm not gonna give them all the money up front.
I mean, yeah, of course.
We need Filthy Frank to run for president in 2024.
No.
Why not?
We don't need Joji to. We need Filthy Frank to.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, pink guy.
Pretty sure Joji would go insane.
I mean, well, he already almost went insane, basically just doing the shit he did
having
before.
to play
So
that character for like 8 years.
yeah.
Feel like a nightmare.
Dude, I want to get that book. I want to get the Filthy Frank book.
Oh, like the lore? You talking about
Francis of the Filth, yeah.
Read that on oh, I guess you drive to work. I'm about to be like read it on the bus.
I still
right?
love the Gentleman's Game. Freaking what he's like. What he's like. Yeah, that's right.
Phil. How you want to call it?
I think we've said enough today in our hour and a half of babble. So
I think we're at our best when we go extremely off topic.
Yep. So yeah, I know we haven't made an episode in like 2 weeks, but the upload schedule is gonna be semi irregular. But still, episodes will be coming out. Look forward to the next episode. I don't know if we'll still be doing off the cuff.
Week.
Yeah. Yeah, it all just depends on if everybody's stuff lines up. But thanks for listening in, and we'll see you in the next one.